Hello everyone, welcome back to Crafts by the Bow. Today is another one of my different fold techniques, and the card today will be a crisscross fold. It's almost like a trifold card that you glue the sides down, and it makes a little pocket inside for you to put a little message, a little sentiment. And my chosen paper today is my very favourite Perennial Essence. And I've got two different pieces. And you don't actually need much paper, so I'm able to use some of my scraps for this. Now to start the card, you need just one piece of our basic Whisper White. And I've chosen the thin card because you have to do some scoring and folding. I find that sometimes the thicker Whisper White is a bit too thick for this. So this is just the thin Whisper White, and I've cut it right down the centre at 4 1/4. And here are the two pieces that I've cut. And we do need both pieces. So what we need to do is to score these two. Oops, let's move that little piece of paper. And we're going to score it as though it was a normal card, so at 5 1/2. Let me move the cutter out of the way. So that would be sort of our normal card size and fold. And we're going to do that with both pieces. So 5 1/2. And I'm going to put the trimmer away because we've got all the scoring done that we need. Oh no, I do need it to cut. Okay, so these two pieces of card are going to fit right on top of each other like this. In fact, I'm going to turn this one this way, just so that you can see better. And then these side pieces are going to fold in and fold over like that. And as we fold them in, we're going to make them a triangle shape. And if you have your card like that, on the left hand side, the triangle is going to start at the top here and go downwards, and at the right hand side is going to start here and go downwards. So they go to the edges, and I'm going to cut them on my trimmer. So I know that this one, I need this piece removing. So I'm going to line it up here and here in the track. And check that you can just see. You need to have this corner piece right in the gap on the track, and the same with this top piece. And then just check that that was in. I think I moved it just as I closed it. There we are. We don't need the scorer, we do need to cut. And when I'm cutting a corner, I always like to start in the middle, just in case it pushes up on the edges of the card and you end up with a bump. Okay, so keep this piece because we need it for stamping for later. I really do need new blades in this. Okay, so that would be our first side. And then this is going to go that way. So we're going to cut from here downwards. And again, you just line it up. If you don't have a trimmer like this one, just line it up in your normal trimmer so that you get from the very center here down to the right hand side corner. And again, I'm putting my cutting blade halfway across and keeping these pieces. Now, because I need a new blade, you can see I've got little fluffy pieces on here. I'm just going to go over it with my bone folder so that I haven't got any raised edges, and then just with my finger. There we go. Okay. Oops, nearly folded it the wrong way. So we're just going to attach these, and I'm going to use my fast fuse. You can use any adhesive. If you want to use Tombow wet glue, that's fine. It does give you that little bit of wiggle space if you haven't quite got it matched up right. And I like to line up like these two corners here against the fold. It's a bit tricky to see because I've chosen a white base. And then if you have any little edges that are overhanging, just take your scissors and trim down. I've got a tiny little piece there. Just a tiny piece. See, just teeny weeny. Okay. So before I do any more, I want to fold this left-hand side piece over to check that it's lined up across the bottom. And then using my bone folder, I'm just going to straighten it out. And I'm going to straighten that edge as well. There we go. I don't need to do the right-hand side one just yet, because I want to put the paper, the DSP paper on here first, and then do the right-hand side one. Now, for the paper itself, you need your DSP cut at 4 by 5 1/4, and we're going to just cut across the diagonal like we did with this. And I wanted 2 different pieces. If you wanted the same piece and the pattern that's on the back, you can just cut straight across. Let me get one that I've already cut. So you can just cut straight across and then just turn that one over. But I actually, to make it difficult for myself, I actually wanted a different piece. So I've got this one piece with these little flowers on. Oops. And in fact, I'm going to use that part. And then this is a different paper, but I liked how it just matched the colours and the flowers. So this one, I know I'm going to have to cut that corner to that corner. It would have been easier just to pick a piece of paper where I was going to use the back as well. But hey ho. Okay, so the same as we did for the card, I'm just lining up the corners in the track. Pop that down, move the score out the way. Make sure my cutter is up a little way, not right at the bottom. Please, Stampin' Up, get some more blades in so that I can just get a couple before we get our new trimmers. Okay, now this piece here is going to fit on there, and we're going to glue this piece down. So before I start to put the DSP on, I'm just going to use the tear and tape. And this is Stampin' Up's tear and tape. It's just the right width across here. And I'm going to lay it across the bottom middle piece and the right hand side piece. You don't need any on the left hand side. So I'm going to match it up, keep it as near to the bottom edge as I can, and then tear that piece off. And then do the same here. Put it on, keep it as near to the bottom as I can, go all the way along, and then I'm just going to trim that last little piece with my scissors because I don't want it to hang over. There we go. So otherwise I know that would just catch on things. Okay. So, there we are. I know that this fits because we've already folded it over and burnished it. So now I'm just going to take the tear and tape strip off. And we're going to push that piece right down. Go across it again with my bone folder. There. And now I'm going to take the first of the paper that I cut, which was this piece, and I liked this left-hand side piece with the little flowers in the corner. And that's going to go on here. And can you see how we're going to have just a nice little border all the way around? If you can make the top match, it will make your card look better in the end. Don't worry so much about this piece at the bottom if you have to just manipulate it a little bit or if you have to move it up, because that will be covered by this piece. And again, you can use any adhesive that works for you. If you're a little bit nervous about getting this in the right place, just use your Tombow. And then you can move it round just that tiny bit. I might use Tombow for the front, but for this piece, I know it's going to, most of it's going to be hidden. Okay, so I just want to sort of line it up so that I know my border up on the left-hand side is going to be the same as my diagonal border. There we go. And then I'm going to fold this right-hand side piece over, and I'm going to make sure that this corner here of the triangle is right at the bottom of the card, and then I'm just going to go across with my bone folder. There. Just move that little piece of glue. It won't matter, but I just wanted it out of the way. Okay, so that's this one down. We know that this right-hand side piece is going to fit, so I'm going to take off the tear and tape, fold it over, but I'm still going to hold it so that I know it's level across the bottom. There we go. Nice. And then let's get the DSP that we cut a few minutes ago with the right hand side triangle. I've just got a few bits of fluff on there. Fluffy paper, and I'm just going to cross with my finger just to get those little edges straight. Okay, so that's how that's going to fit, and I am going to use Tombow just so that I know it's going to be in a nice straight line. Oh, I've got that one Tombow that doesn't want to work. Let's find a better one. I don't want so much at the edges, so I'm just moving that in a little bit. And then I'm going to match that up, make sure that the border is equal on all the sides. You see why the Tombow is better for this one? I'm going to move it up just slightly. There we go. And I've got a little bit of excess glue there, so I'm just going to use my glue eraser and take it off. There we go. Can't feel any more. No. Okay, so now you've made your little crisscross part, and it has this pocket inside. And for the piece that fits inside, we're going to cut another little piece of white card and decorate it. But first, I want to show you what I'm going to put on here. First of all, I'm just going to put a little strip of white card that goes across, and it's not the full width of the card. I've cut it at 3/4 of an inch by 5 3/8, and I wanted it just so that it goes from the DSP over to the other edge of the DSP. And you can put this on with tear and tape or with Tombow or any adhesive. And I want to see just the very bottom of the little crisscross there. There we go. If you didn't want to use that, a couple of times I've used ribbon. So let's find the white flax ribbon just to show you on this. So instead of a piece of card, you can put just a little piece of ribbon across. And that looks really pretty too. There we are. Now, the next thing I need are my flowers. And I'm going to use the pop of petals only because I haven't used it for such a long time and I think it needs an airing. So I've stamped this little flower 4 times. And here they are. I've used the matching punch to cut them out. If you don't have the punch, it doesn't matter. You can cut out these quite easily by fussy cutting. So there are 3 of them. And where's my other one? Oh, here's my other one. So I've got 4 altogether. And I've coloured the base of the flower in with the light flirty flamingo and the middle in with the dark. I haven't done lots of shading or lots of detail or anything because I don't need it. And then I've used this leaf punch. Again, it hasn't been out of the cupboard for a long time, so I thought it was its turn to have a try at coming out and playing. And I've just cut 3 of these. I don't know if I need 3, but I've just cut 3 with old olive because I thought it matched one of the greens in here quite nicely. And then all I'm going to do is just turn these petals a little bit, not too much, so I do want it to fit in the envelope. And this card, when it's finished, it is 5.5 by 4 1/4, so it will fit in an ordinary envelope. And then one of the flowers I'm going to leave flat because that's for the inside and I don't need it to be sticking out. And then these, I'm just going to sort of have them arranged like this and pop the little leaves behind them like this. So it's just a little decoration at the right hand side, and I'm only going to put them on with glue dots. I'm not going to stick them right down. I want them to be, you know, sort of a little bit sticking out. Just turning it, sort of trying to turn it around a little bit so they don't look all the same. There we are. And then I'm going to put a little glue dot on the back of this leaf. And let's see where I'm going to put it. I might pop one just in here. I don't want it to stick out past the end of the card, just ready for when it goes in the envelope. Just turn that a little bit, there we are. Let's see if I need a third. Yeah, I might just put a third one. Might take the little piece off the end and pop a third one under there. Now I know there are lots of measurements for this card, and normally I don't write down all the measurements, but what I'm going to start and do, because I'm getting a lot of messages saying, please could you tell me the measurements again? What I'm going to start and do is put on my blog the actual measurements. So you can watch the video on YouTube or on my Facebook page, but if you go to my blog at craftsbythebow.blogspot.com, the measurements will all be on there for you. Now, I do want to put some little centres in here, and I got some things ready. I wasn't sure what I was going to use. Let me just find my pickup tool. So I've got these little gold ones, which I thought might match these little daisies here. They come 1 sheet of metallic gold, 1 sheet of metallic silver in a pack. I've got my ordinary little basic pearls, and I coloured a couple of them black with my blender pen. Wasn't sure if I might like black because I didn't want to introduce too many colours. Oh, I do like that black. Oh, look at that. That's nice. If you didn't have pearls and you still wanted to put something in the middle, this stamp set also has a little set of 3 stamps, and what you could do is stamp these and fussy cut out and pop that into the middle. That would look pretty too. Just pop that into the middle. There we are. Oh, let's put that little stray gold one away. It obviously wanted to be on there and I didn't choose it. Okay, so there's our 3 flowers. And see, you can just manipulate these a little bit and push up the petals. And then I wanted a sentiment, and this stamp set doesn't have any sentiments in. So I went to my piece of cake stamp set for just this very simple happy birthday. and you could stamp it straight onto here. But what I did was I stamped it on a tiny little piece of spare card, and these pieces that you cut off are ideal for all this. You can get all of these flowers and your sentiment, so you know, really hang on to these. And then I used a little narrow label punch here, and I stamped and cut out with that. And you can, if you wanted it to be the same colour, you can pop it on dimensionals. But I also cut out 2 of the pieces of card in Old Olive to match these leaves. And I thought I might just have it like that, just so that it matched. And I cut 2 in case I wanted to put a second one under. But I think I'm just going to pop it on 1, but I might have the green at the top. Yeah, I think I will. So you just need a tiny little bit of glue down here. It's too narrow for the fast fuse, so I'm just going to pop it on with Tombow. There we go. Just offset slightly. And that way you get a little bit of colour. Oops. I'm just trying to push it along a tiny bit. There we go. And then I'm just going to put it on here and add a dimensional to stick it on. Let's see where my dimensionals have just disappeared to. Excuse me. I had a little pack out 5 minutes ago that I was using, and now I don't know where they are. Now these ones are the big dimensionals, so I'm just going to cut them in half and use these. Oh, I tell you what, I could use the little piece across. Let's take this off instead. Doesn't want to come off. Oh, that's it. It seemed to have been stuck right on that corner really fast, so it didn't want to come off at all. Just pop this across the back, and then I'm just going to put it onto that little white strip that we have. There we go. And then let's do the little piece that goes inside the pocket. So I've cut a piece of white card, and it's still the thin Whisper White. You could use the thicker Whisper White for this if you wanted, but it's just cut at, let me try and remember what I cut this at, 5 1/4 by 3 3/4. And I had to cut it a little bit narrower because of that tear and tape we have at the bottom. And I used this little leaf here for my inside. And remember, I'd made 1 more of these. I'm just going to attach this like this, just so that it's got a little bit of a pattern on the inside. But I didn't want anything too thick, because otherwise when I slide that down there, it will make the front of the card just bow out a little bit. And then I decided I wanted a little piece of design up here. So I went back through the perennial essence paper and just took this little strip that I had and I made it just a little bit shorter so that it would fit on here with a little border. Okay. Still leaves you lots of room to write. Let's attach this. Now, if you wanted it to go all the way across and not have a border, you could do that as well. That would look really nice too. Make sure that's glued down. Okay. And then it's going to fit in here. And can you see how you get just a little bit sticking up? If this bothers you, what you could also do is choose sort of a wider piece. You could put this on the back. Let's cut that and show you what I mean. And let's just check what size this was. this was 5 1/4 by 3 3/4. So I'm going to cut this at 5 by 3 1/2. So I know this is a 6-inch piece. So 3 1/2 by 5. So that's going to fit just perfectly on the back there. Just making sure I've got it the same way round. And I'm going to leave that little border at the top. And then you could put this in this way, so that you had the pattern going all the way across instead. And what you could also do is put a little pull tab on here. You could use like a punch and fold the punch over and pull it out. Let's see if I've got a punch. Let me just go and get one. Excuse me a moment. So here I've got the little tab punch. Let's find a colour. Let's see if I've got more of that green just nearby. Let's have a look in my scrap bag. Oh, here we go. You can just cut this out. Fold that over. And then you could have it on there so that you had a little pull for it, and then people would know to take it out. Or you could use just a circle one, or one of the scalloped ovals, or a layering square, or one of the layering rectangles, just so people knew that actually you have to do something with that. So what is it she wants me to do? So I'm going to put it back the other way. There we go. No, I think I like it the other way now that we've made it like that. So let's attach that. I love crafting. You never quite know how things are going to turn out and if it's going to be different, but I love that about it. Okay, then I'm just going to pop this on here. Try and make sure that it's about halfway across. You could line it up on your grid paper if you wanted. If I was going to put this kind of a pull tab on and still get it into an envelope, I'd probably just make this a little bit shorter. Make sure our flower's gone in. And there we go. That's our little crisscross fold card with an inside piece for your sentiment and a little bit for writing. So there we go. That's a different kind of fold. And remember, if you want the sizings for this, it's on my craftsbythebow.blogspot.com. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye-bye.